let's give mollusks a run here. So phylum Mollusca, snails, slugs, oysters, clams, octa, whatever, and squids. So this group, we're from New Orleans, right? We eat these things. We're not currently eating them, but we do enjoy eating them. At least the oysters, well, the oysters. So, soft-bodied animals, their bodies are inside of that shell. And the neat part is that that shell is actually secreted. So, fun fact there. The foot, as you can see here, is what helps them move. The visceral mass, internal viscera, that's all the gobbledygook through here. And then the mantle, it's highlighted in pink here. And that's what's responsible for secreting that shell. So as these guys grow in size, because they do go through that larval stage as we discussed, as they grow in size, the new mantle, or the mantle secretes the new portions of the shell from the nutrients they gather in their consumption of environmental nutrients, right? And then their mouth, man, if you look over here, that's some sci-fi crap. So the radula, that's what we're talking about now. Scrapes up food by extending outwards and scooping backwards. That's why they climb all over their food. And we do see the circulatory system. So these dudes, they're actually pretty complex as it compares to other things. So we see the mouth, and then it moves on back, and we see nerve cords. We see this alimentary canal. Right, it's got a heart, it's got gills, reproductive organs. Wow, man. How different is this from us? So, gastropods are a form of mollusk. This actually refers to foot stomach or stomach foot. They are the largest group. They're in fresh, marine, land, and they're the only ones that actually live on land. The majority of these are going to be marine forms, and a great deal of diversity. So the sea slug over here, it's actually pretty beautiful. If we're in class, I'd probably take a YouTube moment now, but if y'all want to, dig off onto YouTube and see sea slugs. But come back. Don't go down the YouTube wormhole there. And then this is the common form, the single spiraled shell. The sea slug does not have that. Bivalves are also mollusks. Here's our friends over here for those of you that like them. Clams, not too common down here. You get up to New England and it's a big deal up there. They call them steamers. So shells that are that should be shell. Who wrote this? Shells that are halved and hinged. The hinge, muscle and connective tissue, they're pretty damn strong. They're tough to open, as you guys know who've shucked a set of oysters or have one of those lever type apparatuses that we use at oyster parties, but live in the sand or the mud. So they're filter feeders, and the important thing to remember with the quality of our oysters down here is the quality of water and the quality of the sediment in that water is really important because they filter it through. And yep, that says eyes. So we're moving up the evolutionary chain here. Cephalopods, one more group of phylum Mollusca. So you're starting to see that these guys are pretty awesome. The nautilus, squid, octopi, cutterfish, fast, agile predators. The shell can be internal, as we can see here, right? Beaks, you knew that. Large brains, sophisticated sense organs, their eyes. They do some pretty neat stuff. And in fact, one of the videos I'm going to see if we can try to find you access to on Discovery Education. The Life series shows how cuttlefish actually can mimic their rivals. Well, not mimic them, but they can outcompete them by pretending they're female and getting with another male while the female is with the other male, and then leaving sperm for that female to be impregnated with while the other male thinks it's another female. So uh, pretty complex behaviors, and I'm sure you've seen these guys change shapes and all the other things, so they're pretty awesome. Annelids are going to move us off into another group, and these are going to be the segmented worms, essentially. And body segmentation now is starting to make things significantly more complex. Critical role in evolution, flexibility and mobility, that's important. They can be small to large, damp soil, because these are going to be our skin breathers from several chapters ago in the fall, right? They can live in the sea and the majority of freshwater habitats. They're scavengers, right? Sand or mud. You know where we find earthworms outside. The first time we see the closed circulatory system is going to be found in the earthworm. So if you remember back from that chapter, the closed circulatory system is one where the blood stays in the system, and then interstitial fluid between the circulatory system and the body tissues allows for diffusion to occur, as opposed to that open circulatory system where blood and lymphatic fluid kind of migrated throughout the whole body. Earthworms are hermaphrodites with male and female structures, but they do have to mate and exchange sperm. So it's not that they can self-fertilize. They do have to meet another counterpart to exchange DNA. And here's an example. So if we're looking internally, we're going to be through here. And you can see that closed circulatory system where the brain is, the nerves. They are one long alimentary canal. We can see that they're pretty doggone complex, and they have these longitudinal muscles that wrap around. As they change shape, it allows for the organism to move, little bristles. If you've ever eaten one of these, then you can feel those bristles on your tongue. Another story for another time, but yeah. Polychaetes are another group of annelids. So it is the largest group. They can be free swimming. They can also dwell in tubes, just kind of these evolutionary adaptations, right? So we find these across the annelid phylum. And then we get to leeches, and here we can clearly see the segments as we move across. Right? These are bloodsuckers, but they mostly are free-living carnivores that eat other animals. So some of the leeches we are aware of that suck blood, but in some cases they can do full-on ingestion. Mostly found in fresh water, some are in salt water, and some are terrestrial. They get small to large again. It's all these, recurring theme here. We still will occasionally use these in medicine, and I think based upon this photo, that's what's going on. I think y'all can see this person's wearing a glove, and there's probably some sort of sterile antibiotic in there, and what this leech is doing is actually sucking on through the glove and then out of the person's thumb. It's just a demonstration. I'm not sure exactly how this would be used, but they, as a result of doing this evolutionary process, they don't want this blood to clot, so they actually produce an anticoagulant, and it stops clotting in patients that have heart disease, because we don't want to have to worry about passing clots to the arteries. So, important fact that we've mimicked their anticoagulant in nature. All right. So, Creatures of the Deep covers these. Before we get to arthropods, it's a good starting point. I'm going to try to get access to Discovery Education and share this with you if I can find the Life series. I would normally show this on DVD at school. This is about 1 hour, which could be your next class assignment. We can probably do this maybe 45 minutes to it. Yeah, it says it right there, 43.50 for the total. So let me see if I can find access to this. And as you guys finish up this YouTube, your next class assignment will be to get to this guy. If not, if I can't get you access, we might just have to bypass it and start here. But I will certainly keep you updated. Later.